to the OKS Youth Ministry Podcast, where three of the OKS Youth Ministry talk about youth. I am Michael Deese, and I'm alone again this week. Luckily, we have a backlog of a few things that we recorded from the M2Y Conference last year. And again, I highly recommend you go to the M2Y Conference. This interview is actually going to be with Lucas Dow, the now president of the M2Y Conference. He has been going for 10 plus years and was just made president right after the M2Y Conference last year. And again, this is going to be in Gatlinburg. I really think you're going to enjoy the things that he has to talk about, the things that he wants to say about the M2Y Conference, and I highly recommend you go. So let's tune in and see what he has to say. All right, we are here with Lucas Dow at the M2Y Conference, and Lucas is one of the new board members of the M2Y Conference, and so we want to just kind of sit down with him and talk to him about what is the importance of conferences like this.
Yeah, this is an awesome conference that I think I've been to 7 years. This is our 10th conference, and it's been such a resource, something that has helped out a lot of people. Me talking from experience from this, we've been to a lot of different places, and so thankful for, especially from the board, for Heritage and everything that they've done for us as a conference, helping us out in a time where stuff happened in Pigeon Forge, and we had to move away from that scenario, and went to Carnes for a year, and now we're at Heritage, and now finally we announced last night, we're thankful for Heritage, but we're going back home, back to the mountains, back to the Smoky Mountains. We're going to Gatlinburg next year, and It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting.
So for you, Lucas, when you get home from something like this, in your role as a youth minister, what's your takeaway with this kind of thing?
Well, I thought about it yesterday, and in my intro, I introduced Philip Jenkins yesterday, and how do you introduce a guy like Philip? And I said I'm so encouraged by the things that he talks about, but every time I listen to him, I realize how behind I am as a minister and how much I'm like, I'm not doing anything I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. So it's a lot of, I have a notebook full of ideas and full of things that I'm encouraged to go home and do. So I guess a little bit overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
Somebody yesterday, I think, said it's like drinking from a fire hose of information.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's tough, and Lucas, both of us are younger ministers, and I'm always intrigued with how important these conferences are to really encourage us, because, we haven't graduated from Freed-Hardeman too long, we haven't been in youth ministry too long, but yet we've seen a lot of youth ministers step away from youth ministry in this short period of time.
Yeah.
So how has that benefited as far as being an encouragement to younger youth ministers here at M2Y?
Yeah, it's a spot where we come in and see, okay, I'm not the only one going through struggles that I'm going through.
Yeah.
And we try in our schedule to allow enough time where the classes are very intentional and very, very good, where it's hard to pick. But there's time in between where, hey, I'm gonna go to Michael and I'm gonna sit down with Michael and say, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Can you help me out? And I think that's what is going to help ministers stay in ministry, is that connection that M2Y gives each other.
So for guys that haven't been to something like this, you just mentioned the fellowship side. How valuable has it been? The relationships you've built here, are those the ones that you call on when you go back home, or guys that you connect with throughout the year?
Yeah. I think a lot of the speakers and some of my best friends are people that are on the board, and it helps me to go home. And now I have new people that I got to know maybe on a deeper level, or just now introduced to here at this conference that I can go home and talk to, and that's really helpful as well. Also, another thing, let me just put this out there. This is not a conference for just youth ministers either. Mm-hmm. This is a place where elders are here, our youth deacons are here, and our wives are here, where my wife loves to come to stuff like this and talk to April and talk to other wives, because they're dealing with the same stuff my wife is.
Yeah. I know has always been like conferences like this are always kind of just I don't really know, because it's stuff that we all are interested in, and we like have fun learning about this stuff, and we actually enjoy going to the classes and the events and the things. And so it's kind of, to me, like a vacation of sorts, where I get to hang out with my friends. We all like this stuff. We all like learning about how to be better. And we just, at nights and during lunch, and we get to hang out with them and spend time together. And that's kind of what this conference or conferences like this do for me. That's what re-energizes me, and it makes me get back into the job doing things that I love.
So Lucas, one of the things that we're trying to do is trying to be support for younger guys that are getting into this. And one of the things we've talked about is, the importance of doing these kind of things, that you have to be an advocate for yourself to your eldership. So, talk to us for a second. Maybe for someone that's never done this, that's thinking about going to a conference or something like this, how do you approach that with your eldership? How do you pitch that idea? And how do you help them understand the value of what you're trying to take away from it?
I think if they're a good eldership, they know how much weekends like this mean to you and are necessary for growth. I don't think that they can look at a schedule. I don't think that they can look at a schedule that we put forward and say, this is something that I don't want my youth minister to be a part of.
Yeah, right.
Especially I'm looking at this afternoon, youth ministry for a long haul. I think all elderships want their youth minister to be there for the long haul. And so I think the schedule speaks for itself. I think our speakers speak for itself. And even if that's something that the elders are questioning, that's a free invitation. Say, hey, why don't you come check it out yourself and spend a weekend with me, where we can grow as a ministry staff and as leaders of a congregation, and you can check this out. And if this is something that we don't need to be a part of, then we won't be a part of it. And I highly doubt that's something that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm so glad that you are a new board member. And I'm so glad that we got to be here at the M2Y Conference. And I've just got to say, man, when I was an intern at West Dyersburg, Lucas was my boy. Me and him were like super close that summer, and it's been really cool watching him as he grows and becomes one of the best youth ministers I know. And so we're really lucky to have you on the show, and we're really glad that you took some time to talk to us.
Thank you. We had a lot of Ben and Jerry's that weekend, or that summer. I remember that.
My car got hit by lightning.
I do remember that.
Awesome.
And you lived in a small upper room apartment.
With Jared Street.
With Jared Street. That was awesome. Yes, I use board member very loosely. My joke this weekend is this is my first year, and so I'm still the intern. I'm still getting coffee for people and having to do stuff that people, I got to take out the trash and stuff. Yeah. Maybe after this conference I can make a little bit of decisions. Who knows?
Well, thanks, man. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go up?
No, just super excited. So glad to be here with everybody. So thankful for this podcast and what y'all do. It's a breath of fresh air. I've talked about that with Michael. I think youth ministers need stuff like this, where we get to talk about things that are going on, and I appreciate y'all.
All right, love you, man.
And make plans to show up next year at M2Y. We'll be in Gatlinburg.
Yeah,
that's right.
Being in Gatlinburg, early November 6th through the 9th, I think is what it is. So be there and join us. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we should be back, all three of us, in town next week, and we'll be recording another budget episode, and I think that will finish out all of our episodes on how to budget and what to expect with your budget. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and thank you for visiting our website and checking out the M2Y Conference, and I hope that your ministry is blessed.
Thanks for joining us today in the important conversation of youth ministry. Go and follow us on Instagram and check out oksyouthministry.com for more information about our upcoming episodes. We'll be dropping a new episode every Wednesday morning, and we look forward to talking with you again next week. And hey, it's okay to be the OKS youth minister around, but let's all strive to be just a little bit better.